Today's room is going to be MetaSploit on TryHackMe. The learning path is still called CompTIA PenTest Plus. So let's go ahead and dive right into the room called MetaSploit. So as you already seen, I've completed this long time ago. What I promised is I want to do the rooms that I haven't done, and the ones I've done, I'm gonna take you through them briefly. But this is a really easy room, you know, no answer needed. Yeah, initializing. So basically, you're gonna learn a command called msf console-h to see the help command, and you can provide the -q, which ways to add to without showing the information. So that is for the quiet start and some other interesting stuff to read. Yeah, so what type of database does MetaSploit 5 use? You know, you can press the hint and basically look it up, but you know it is a PostgreSQL database. All these questions here are really easy, and it doesn't really require you to do anything. There's a machine down here you need to do in order to get the shell going on. So more questions and answers for you. You know, since this is more like a quiz in a certain way, you need to read something, and in order to answer the question, you need to thoroughly and properly read the text. I trust you can do that. You know, that is not a problem. It is not difficult to do. So basically, you know, when I'm creating videos, reading text, you know, I just, you know, basically I search for the word I'm looking for, and then. But the way I learned the stuff, the best way I learned the stuff is to actually do it, and this is, you know, also some stuff you need to go through. So I'm briefly just gonna show you, and then more stuff. Easily the most common module utilized, which module holds all the exploit code you'll use. So there's a drawing here that shows you if you want to use a certain, you know, module or library or interface, you know. But all this doesn't really make sense to look at, you know. This is the typical flaw. Whenever you're gonna learn something, you know, you will see these, you know, drawings, and it's like, it looks like a hotel building, 2 hotels with different floors standing on a tipped hotel building. Like, yeah. Anyways, you know, some people really like these drawings, and they're like, oh, I'm all like, yeah, but you know, it's making it more difficult to understand. You know, I'm not a fan. But anyways, I suggest read it to answer the questions. And yeah, one thing I want to say about MetaSploit is there are things like knob as a word, and it's an old buffer overflow technique called a knob sled, which is basically, how can I explain this? I don't think I can, but it's whenever you inject too much data in a variable, and the code doesn't, you know, how can I say it? If there is no size comparing to the amount of data you're putting into array, you get buffer overflow or the array overflow or index out of bound, whatever language you're programming in. In Java it doesn't really exist, but in C programming this is a very common thing. Move that shell. So now it's time to start the machine basically, and they kinda tell you that you can run nmap inside of MetaSploit. Yeah, I would never do that. But if you are like the fan of MetaSploit is like the framework, okay? It is the framework that that basically, you know, got everything. You know, so it's like a Swiss knife, like this one. Like this is a Swiss knife, as you can see. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. So you have different tools in it, and you can, I want to open up a wine bottle. Then you use the wine bottle opener in the Swiss knife. So MetaSploit is really just a really big framework. This is the thing with loads of modules. Sometimes it's very useful when you go to the exploit database, you know, and find some exploit. Let's just say this is the one we find, and then so I need to download this code here, whatever it is. Yeah, actually the point of exploit DB is that you can download the code there is and execute it. Basically what I did in some of my videos was just, you know, doing it the old school way. But, you know, laziness, and I wouldn't even call it new school, because new school is like blindfold exploiting. You know, that is what MetaSploit does. So I would say it's a good tool if there is an exploit. Sometimes you can gain access to services really fast. If it's a common exploit, then I of course think it's a really good thing to use. So basically, I honestly think you should just, you know, do this room. It's not that difficult. You know, it's no answer needed, and you know, it's what service is running on port 135. You can do an nmap scan and just write that into MetaSploit. The way you start it, maybe I should just show that. You write MSF console basically, and then it will start the MetaSploit console, and it's always gonna show you some sort of ASCII art whenever it started. And yeah, you have sometimes it's a cow or a soldier, whatever it is. And then basically what it tells you is like DB nmap. Let's just do my IP address. Database not connected. And if that is the case, you should definitely go ahead and connect your database. So I haven't started the. I think you need to go out and, you know, start the service PostgreSQL start. Basically, that's an authentication. So let's go ahead and start it, and then let's go back into MetaSploit console. I think if I remember briefly something about that is the way to do that. Database not connected still. So if you get this command, we can just basically copy paste that and go to Google, say MetaSploit. Database not connected. Then you get a fix in the very first line. Something about why is this commercials always in the way? So let's just remove these commercials. Like, yeah, go away. And yeah, they want us to run this service, and then we're gonna run the MSF DB init, and we didn't do that. Can I do it here? I cannot do it there. Let's go ahead and do a sudo and then run that. And I hope it didn't do anything. Yeah, there you go. Then we could try again, and database not connected. It is typical. But this is how you get. Is this snowing on my screen? Wow. So this is basically the guide, the way you're gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it right now, but yeah, this is the way you do it. Alright, so, and then it talks about, you know, that you're gonna use this exploit, or the following exploit for Icecast, and basically you're gonna answer the question and write some more commands, no answer needed, all the way down. You know, basically it's just telling you to do that, set that, use that, do that, do that. So it's a step-by-step guide. So now that we are in on the machine, this is really easy. They want you to find out what's the name of the spool service. So usually when you use MetaSploit, I typically use it on a Windows machine, and then you're gonna look for a process running, and that's typically what you're doing on a Windows machine. You look for a process running and try to get higher privileges, tapping into that process. So if that process is running as, let's say, administrator, and you're not administrator, you're some, you know, I don't know, dull user, then you can try and tap in and migrate. So you're using migrate commands on MetaSploit in order to migrate. So you like think about it like as a virus, and then you like migrate to become something better. You merge. What is the name for that? When you know, evolve into something better. And there are different commands. You can just basically read what it is. They want you to load Kiwi, which is the new version of Mimikatz. It's a program to basically get credentials, I would say, from the SAM database. This is what they call it in Windows, a SAM database, basically. So, but they kind of tell you, let's go figure out the privileges of the current user, what command do we run. You can of course just do the commands that I wrote, but you're gonna see them, so yeah. Anyways, making Cisco proud is answering the question below. Let's go ahead and run the command autoroute. Just plug up the help menu for autoroute, what command to run. So basically this is how you do it, and some more questions and answers to answer. So basically, very short video. If you have a paid subscription, you can even watch the video on to this room. I'm not a fan of MetaSploit. I think it's a great tool. It's like if you're a carpenter or something, and you need your knife, you need your hammer, you got the essential tools. I like more of the essential tools, but sometimes I do boot up MetaSploit. I am guilty, but I'm not really doing that a lot. I think I have 1 or 2 videos out of like 150 videos somewhere that I have on my channel where I actually use MetaSploit. So this video was very short, and it was basically just a walk through what I kinda did and how I feel about it. I wouldn't necessarily say this is the best tool for you to use when you want to hack rooms and TryHackMe, because it requires a lot, not system power stuff, but it just require a lot of you. You will get a lot further just using your standard Nmap, your standard GoBuster, and already now and we're almost there. And your Hydra, your what's it called? John the Ripper, sorry. So John for password cracking, using your GTFO bins, privilege escalation for binary files. You already got a really good leave ahead. So I'm gonna say that's it for this video, and the next one is gonna be, I think it's gonna be Nessus, which I'm gonna do for real. Yeah, open that one. Done. And I'm gonna pick the one called Nessus. Yes. I haven't done that yet. I would suggest you do the same thing for Hydra. It's a really short room. I'm gonna briefly just tell you how to do it, but it is one of those base tools that I've been doing a lot, using a lot in my videos. So if you've been following, you should definitely follow. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you should subscribe to get future notifications. So until next time, bye.